This was the last paddle with Stefano, Justin, and Dominic. These three guys have been members of the Notre Dame Outdoor Club since grade 10, and now they're graduating from high school. And on this day, they were also finishing their Paddle Canada Level 2 final assessment. We chose as our classroom for this assessment Lighthouse Park, which is a great area for rock gardening because of its interesting features and reefs. And we lucked out because on this day the wind was blowing southeast 19 knots and had been for several hours. So the conditions were pretty well developed, allowing us to have a lot of fun together and to really push our skills. One of the things that was good to see was that the fellows really responded to the environment with increased aggression in their paddling, really putting their strength into what they were doing instead of holding back. Here's Justin running through a small feature, followed by Dominic, and you can see how they're both paddling really well. And then here comes Stefano in the blue boat, and he also is paddling with a lot of confidence in what are fairly demanding conditions. In fact, the conditions were so much fun that I couldn't get back in my boat after filming that last clip. I ended up in the water pushing my boat out to Dominic, who was waiting for me offshore, and he got to perform a real rescue in fairly big water, and he did a really good job. So that all counts towards his assessment. And up behind him you can see the lighthouse on Point Atkinson itself. Now around the other side of the point things were a little calmer, but we still found some fun things to do. Here's Justin doing a seal launch. That doesn't end quite the way we expected it would, but he was game nonetheless.
I guess you need more speed, eh?
And on that side of the point there's some really nice features like this big slot that allowed us to go over the tactics for exploring this sort of shoreline, backing into a slot, having our friends keep an eye out for us on the outside, looking for big sets of waves. And that enabled us to tackle the next feature, which was the cave. And on this day it was 3.5 meter tide, so we had a lot of headroom. There was no danger of hitting our heads, but enough water to go as far back as we wanted. Here's Dominic exploring the very end of the cave. And now it's Stefano's turn.
You're approaching the choke point. It can be, yeah.
After we played around in the cave, it was time for our rescues practice. And so we discussed again the tactics of how to extract someone from a cave, and we went over the tow systems that we were using and how we would deploy them. And then someone had to volunteer to be the victim. So guess who that was? I chose to go in, and it was actually a lot of fun getting rescued by these guys.
This is gonna be harder because I'm in the water.
Here's Justin towing me and the boat out of the cave.
There you go.
And then T rescuing me.
Awesome. And you're good. Flip over quick and don't scoop. Awesome.
Good job. So that was the day, and that was the end of the course. It's been a real pleasure paddling with these guys. They've grown a lot as paddlers, and I look forward to seeing them on the water soon.